What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic CM. It's episode number 77, and today we're returning with Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park, and on the back of Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park, and you say deja vu? Yes, we were just here 3 days ago, taking on Palace away from home here at Selhurst Park in the FA Cup 5th round. Of course, we beat them by 4-0 to keep our treble dreams alive, but now, staying here, but returning to matters in the Premier League after a very tough patch of form since the beginning of December, when we've drawn as many games as we've won. Didn't win either of our last 2 Premier League games. Heading to this one here in a London derby, we need to return to winning ways. I've talked about it. Right now, whilst we're still top of the table, we've still got a decent points gap. There's still quite a bit of separation. We can't afford to keep on slipping up, as the Red Devils and Spurs and the rest of the pack as well believe at the moment they can get back in this title race due to our fumble. So heading to this game here on the back of the 4-0 victory. We've seen by the lineups into the game. Crystal Palace picked a very similar lineup to the one we beat them by 4-0 with in midweek. So because of that, we had a much fresher and fitter side due to a lot of squad rotation in midweek. To lead through Boubacar Kamara's 4th goal of the season. Unbelievable. This guy scored more goals already this season than he got in the entirety of the past 2 seasons. But it was actually quite a tough game. Crystal Palace put us on quite a lot of pressure and just past the hour mark here. Well, I was very frustrated about this. Jan Oblak made a really good save, but Palace kept the pressure on. And as the ball was played inside here, Mikel Merino penalised for a foul in the area. I didn't see the infringement personally. I thought that was a really soft penalty decision. But ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. What's that statement? What's that saying? You love to say it when it works out. Ball don't lie. In my opinion, never a penalty. I didn't see the foul committed by Mikel Merino there, but Jan Oblak. We discussed him in the last episode after his amazing performance in Germany in the Champions League round of 16 first leg against Leipzig, where we drew that game 1-1. Oblak has come in this season. We spent 95 million on him. He replaced last year's Golden Glove winner Bernd Leno, who's now gone to West Ham. But what a decision that proved to be. He might be in his early 30s. He's no spring chicken, but at 94 overall, he's won us points and games single-handedly. And I think for this one as well, you also have to give him a share of the credit as well. And Ketia came off the bench to make it 2-0 late on. Without Jan Oblak, we wouldn't have won that game. We might not have even got a point. I tell you, sometimes in FIFA CM, when you look at a player's age and you think, okay, he's in his late 20s or his early 30s, do you really want to spend a lot of money on him? If it's going to be a cheap transfer fee or a cheap salary as well, it might be worth it. But obviously, if it's going to be a player, it's going to cost you quite a fair bit of money. And again, the wage is going to be high as well. You think, is it worth it when they're going to show signs of deterioration sooner rather than later? But in the case of a goalkeeper in particular, who will not decrease or deteriorate very quickly, in fact, in Oblak's case, he's growing a rating this year, I believe, it's definitely worth it. And again, whilst Leno last season did absolutely nothing wrong, Oblak is a big step up by 9 ratings, and those are the games there, just like the Leipzig one in the last episode, where you see exactly what I mean and why I decided to replace the German with Jan Oblak this season. So here's the second game of 4 in today's episode. This would be match day, the second leg, I was going to say match day 2, the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 taking on RB Leipzig. Drew the first leg 1-1, again primarily due to Oblak's performance in Germany. Hence this one here, we knew that Leipzig needed to score a goal, otherwise we were going through. They did have the top scorer, Anthony Martial, in their team, however, in the first half, I just completely suffocated him. Didn't give him any chance whatsoever. Was playing a really high-press game. In the second half, Leipzig needed to score 2 away goals after we went 2-0 up in the first half through Nelson and Suarez. Oblak made a really good save to keep us up by 2. And there were 15 minutes to go. A chance to wrap the tie up. And I should have done it as well. Cross the back stick. Found St. Maximin off the bench, the former Magpie, heading that cross just wide the post after it entered the turf. Entered the turf? Went into the turf and then wide the post. But still leading by 2. And to be honest, whilst Leipzig did have that one chance, which Oblak made the save for, I wasn't really too pressured. And again, the main reason why is because I was playing a really high-press game and wasn't allowing them easy chances. You would have noticed in the first leg, as St. Maximin scores his first goal for the club here off the bench for Nelson to wrap the tie up, make it 3-0 on the night and 4-1 over 2 legs. You would have noticed in the first leg, Leipzig got like a ton of chances, and they scored one of them through Martial, but many of their opportunities came from inside our area or close to our area where they were creating very easy, clear-cut chances. This game was completely different. I think in the first leg I played very conservative in my defence, wasn't pressing as much, but in this game, I mentioned in the first half, I kind of suffocated them really and didn't give them an easy route out of their half, let alone get to get close to our penalty area. So I think that's what proved to be the difference in that game there. All Black did make one good save, but other than that, we're in complete control. And I think sometimes, that can be very detrimental if you play a high press game against a really good passing team. They'll often find the space in behind you. But in certain games, you really want to be, again, defensively relentless. I think really imposing yourself on the AI's offense is a really good way of stopping them getting easy chances and making you look like a much tougher threat. So for the third game of this episode, as we progress through to the Champions League quarterfinals for the first time in the save, looking forward to see what we'll have in the last day of Europe's Premier competition. We had the Hornets here, Watford coming to take us on right now, struggling down towards the bottom of the table, just above the bottom three in the Premier League in North London. Of course, we won this competition last year. We want to win it once again, and we're starting to believe that there is a chance that the treble could be realistic and definitely something we could achieve this season. We know the quadruple's gone, we know the invincible season has gone. We've gone through a really inconsistent patch of form between December and January in particular, but now here taking on Watford, FA Cup quarter-finals here, feeling very confident indeed that finally we're starting to string wins together in succession. Heading into this game, scored 2 early goals through Bukayo Saka, and then 3 minutes before the break, Reece Nelson gets another as we go 3-0 up before half time. So finally the belief is back. I don't know what it is really. I don't know why, but during those 2 months there, again primarily December and January, I don't know why I was just starting to doubt myself a little bit. I think it's because we lost the invincible season chance, and that was something I really wanted to do because I can't remember the last time I've done that, plus the quadruple dreams as well. Once those two things went in such quick succession, we lost to Aston Villa in December, and then we were knocked out of the Carabao Cup the month after to Man City. I think once those two things happened, I thought, well, can't sulk about it. Just got to perform better. And I think that's what's really helped as well. Instead of having the pressure on myself to deliver one of those two things, the quadruple or the invincible season, or both together, now the pressure's gone because we, literally can't do those two things. I'm just able to play a little bit better now. Perform a little bit better too. So anyway, in this game we were 5-0 up and absolutely cruising against the Hornets in this one. We did have a favourable fixture. We did feel very confident as the big favourites heading into the game anyway, but I was just pretty relentless in this game, not going to lie. And in stoppage time, maybe it's a luck thing as well. Maybe we are now starting to get a bit of luck as well. We've had some bad luck moments in the series. Maybe we're now starting to profit on some good fortune as well. Just like for the 6th goal here, Reece Nelson shot deflecting into the back of the net for a very fortunate goal. Not that it mattered, of course. 6-0 the final score. And I tell you what, I'll talk about things I haven't done in a while. How about things I don't think I've ever done before? I think this is the very first game in my entire time playing FIFA where I've had 3 players score a brace in the same game, as we find out our opponents for the FA Cup semi-final, where Arsenal have got Leicester City. Brendan Rodgers Foxes in the final 4. Brighton versus Liverpool, the other tie, as Leicester did overcome Doncaster, the lower league side in the end. But yeah, sorry to take away from what you see on the screen here, which is Reece Nelson hitting 90 overall. What a season for Reece. 23 goals and 11 assists in 36 games in all competitions. I never planned for this guy to be the star of the series when we signed him on loan with Burnley back in season 1 from our Arsenal team all those years ago, but it's worked out that way. Nelson is the star of this team. 90 overall now, and you absolutely love to see that. The boy from Arsenal went to Burnley, came back, and he has been absolutely unbelievable since returning as a permanent Arsenal player. But yeah, just real briefly on that, there are many things that I've done playing FIFA CM, but I think that is the first time I've ever done it, and I kind of lost track of who the goal scorers were. Saka, Barnes, and of course Reece Nelson as well. But yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever done that. Obviously you've got to score 6 or more goals in a game anyway, which is rare for me to do, but the first time I've had 3 different players score 2 goals each in a game. That's pretty impressive. I can't think of another time I've done that, so I thought that was really cool. First time for everything, right? But it's a 6-0 there into the final 4, and again, will definitely be the favourites against Brendan Rodgers, Leicester. And for the 4th and final game of today's episode, I've talked about us recently in the Premier League. Haven't been as good as we were in the first half of the season, where we had that massive points gap as we were top of the table. But after the big win against Crystal Palace, and now taking on Fulham here in another London derby, we were 2-0 up in this game at Craven Cottage. Scored the first goal just after the restart through Luis Suarez, and then Reece Nelson got another, as like the 2 Golden Boot winners of the last 2 seasons got a goal each, and then with 5 minutes to go, Oh, lovely little chip from DCL, getting his first goal since returning to the Premier League after he signed him from Bayern Munich on transfer deadline day. We know he won't get much game time, but if he comes off the bench or plays in couple midweek games and does pretty well, that's all I ask of my backup strikers. DCL's done that so far since coming in. He wraps up the points, 3-0, the final score, and that means with 8 games to go in the Premier League, back-to-back wins in the league, means we're 8 points clear of the Red Devils, 10 clear of Spurs, and we've got the game in hand on them, and Chelsea as well, who are 11 points clear of. 8 games to go, 8 points to gap, destiny firmly in our own hands as the belief is back. But that was this episode of the Realistic CM, guys. We thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic CM very soon.